Good morning, beautiful people. Marie Alessi here. Today, I can finally share this topic with you about who wants you to grow. I really want you to ask yourself this question when you are spending time with your friends. The circle of friends is such a common topic in various grief groups and also in loving life after loss. And I wanted to pick up this topic because one sentence I hear quite a lot, and I want to actually add it to my list of myth busters around grief, and that is in adversity, you realize who your true friends are. And I realized that that couldn't be further from the truth. And please bear with me while I want to explain that what my personal experience is around that topic. Excuse me. So, the reason why a lot of people say in adversity you realize who your true friends are is because circle of friends do change after or during dealing with adversity. There are some people that come out of the woodworks that you would have never expected to step up and become really true friends and be there for you and come with meals and support out of corners that you would have never expected. I had people come, to the party, under quotation marks, as in really helping me, supporting me financially, even where I was so overwhelmed with absolute disbelief that these people who hadn't been in my life for so long all of a sudden came out to really step up, to really tell me how much my support over the years had meant to them, or how much they wanted to be there or wanted to help me. And others who I would have truly expected to be there by my side closely that just fell off, you know, fell off the earth basically, or whatever the saying is, and all of a sudden weren't in my life anymore. And it was really interesting because it sort of touches on the topic of accumulated loss when you are already dealing with adversity. And in my case, when my husband died, and then all of a sudden you have really close friends that you thought would be in your life and they are not, and that really adds to the topic of loss. So, why am I saying that this couldn't be further from the truth, that adversity shows you who your true friends are? Here's what I have learned over the years. When I look at some of those close friends that I would have thought would be there for me, and they were not, or not even close to the capacity that I thought they would be, I realized that they too have got their own story around loss, that they too have got their own connection that they had with Rob, and that they have their own loss, their own adversity to deal with. And obviously, when Rob died, my own loss, my own adversity, and that of my children was more important than anything else, and completely took over, and didn't leave much room to worry about how anybody else is dealing with it. I did worry about Rob's family, obviously, but there's only so much capacity that you have to deal with your own journey, to deal with your own loss. So I had to come to terms with that some people, when they are constantly confronted with um, our loss, or the way that I dealt with it in particular, because I chose to focus on happiness. And when I look back on videos that I shared in the first few weeks and months after Rob's passing, there was not a lot of happiness that I could feel. Yet it was my focus. It was my utmost northern star. This is where I wanted to be. This is what I wanted to create for the boys, for myself, because this is what I had promised Rob. If something was ever to happen to either of us, we wanted the person remaining here to take the boys and create the happiest life possible. That was our aim, our sole purpose. And when I did that, I realized that a lot of people didn't know how to take that, how to deal with that. For some, it might have even felt disrespectful towards Rob, and I thought that couldn't be further from the truth. For some, they just didn't know how to be around me because they had a very different way of coping with loss. So naturally, they fell off more and more because they were just realizing how much that clashed with the way that I chose to deal with it. Everybody has got their own very personal reason, and everybody needs to find their own way of dealing with that. And if that for some people it is mourning and falling apart and crying and staying on the sad side for too long. This is my judgment, too long. This is just according to how I want to deal with it, how I choose to deal with it. Then it obviously doesn't really match with the way that I had chosen to deal with it. So I understand that there's a mismatch. I understand that two worlds are colliding in how people deal with losses, with adversity differently. And I have come to accept that. I have come to accept that without judging the person who I expected to be in my life in a different way. And that is absolutely okay. I'm not even talking about one person in particular. There were a couple of people that fell off that surface of that, being in close contact with me. And I just want you to think about when you go into judgment, like when you come out of this really deep, wounded stage of grief. And because I feel that really clouds our judgment a little bit. So when you come out of that, and really think about from a point of healing, from a point of as neutral as you can possibly be in that scenario, and think about, does that really make him or her a bad friend? Everybody's got their own battle to deal with, and only because yours seems or feels like it is the most intense or the heaviest to carry right now doesn't mean that other people are doing great. And it doesn't mean that other people are dealing well with your loved ones passing. I know that Rob has left so many impressions here in this world and has had some really, really close connections. And I also understand now more than ever, because now I have that distance. Now I have so much healing that I have done, that I do understand why some people had to keep more distance from me, because it was too confronting for them, the way that I had chosen to deal with it. And I truly hope that people are not judging me for that either, and can see it the exact same way like I do, that people deal with things differently. And what I do was in the deepest interest to honor Rob and to honor our lives. Yet I'm not here to defend myself. I'm just here to say, I want you to look around your circle of friends and family, and ask yourself the question, who is supporting you to grow right now? Who supports your growth, your healing, your moving forward? And who is keeping you stuck? And when you're not entirely sure, then I want you to just watch your energy household. When you walk out of an interaction, a catch up with a person, do you feel that you are uplifted? Do you feel richer for it when you walk away? Or do you feel drained? Do you feel like you need a break? Do you feel like you need to be on your own for a little bit? Watch those signs, because they show you quite clearly who supports you in your growth. And that to me is really important to find out. Not going into judgment, not saying, oh, he or she is not a good friend. They might be a really good friend, yet they might be dealing with the loss so differently to yours that they can't cope being in close proximity with you. So please just be mindful of that. And I'm saying that not so you have another thing to worry about, so you have another thing to deal with or to shift or change in your life in order for you to be okay. It is more to protect you, so you don't feel the whole world is against you, or these people have let you down too now. Because this is how I felt in the early days. I felt now that Rob had died, and then all of a sudden I had to deal with another loss in my life, a friend that was so close to me not being here for me anymore. And there were a couple of them that were not as close to me anymore as I thought they would be. And it freaking hurt. It really hurt me at first. Yet now that I have shifted this, now that I have let go of that, I realize that this is not true. Adversity doesn't show you who's your true friends or not, or who's not. It just shows you that your path has changed completely. And not everybody's path is going that way. Not everybody can stay on that path with you. Everybody's got their own journey. Everybody's got their own path to follow. And I want you to just stay true to your heart. Don't go into judgment. And in my case, I have to say, I always leave these doors open. I don't close doors to friendships forever just because they were not there in a way that I thought they would be for me. I want to stay in this acceptance and in this space of love for them, to know that they too had their own battle to fight, had their own path to walk, and that doesn't always align. It's my adversity. That doesn't mean that the entire world or my entire circle of friends has to walk down the same path. I'm so grateful for those who are, for those who have held space for me and still are, and those who didn't or couldn't. It's absolutely okay, because they had their own battle to fight and their own things to deal with. So all I want to do is send so much love to everyone out there. And even maybe some of these friends are listening to this right now. I just want to say I love you all, and I really understand more than ever now why you had to walk a different path. I truly hope that this was helpful for a lot of people, because this was a very confronting thing for me to work through, to heal through, and now to share with you guys. If anybody wants to chat to me about that, please do reach out. And for deeper healing, please don't forget that we've got the retreat coming up from the 7th till the 10th of July. So if you want to talk about that, please do send me a private message. I'm sending you so much love. This is Marie. Bye for now.